The timeline in the book is, the math is fairly easy to figure out. Charles Portis did, he did pretty in-depth research, and from the timeline, we were able to figure out 1878 fairly easily. Anything that's done literary appeals to me, and I always will go to the book as a source of information, because sometimes a script is fleshed out bare bones, and you go back to the novel and you find little details that may not be included in the script that you can add, and it adds to the integrity of the film. Things that Rooster carried are not necessarily fleshed out in the script, but they are in the book. So I know that he carries his bullets in a sack, he carries a sack of corn dodgers, and that all adds to his character. There's a certain number of certain types of guns that existed in the time, certain types of holsters and gun belts. The guns are fairly easy to find. There's a couple of different places that import reproductions, and we use those. And we use the reproductions because they're safer, they're newer. I don't have anybody else's repairs on them. We don't use originals because oftentimes you don't know what has happened to those guns over the years and who's dealt with them. Plus, an original looks like it's 130 years old, and in 1878 your gun wouldn't really have looked 130 years old. The 66 and 73 Winchesters were the workhorse guns at that time, rifle-wise. There was the 73 Colt pistol, which Rooster carries on his belt. It wasn't a novelty, that was the thing a lot of guys depended on. She inherits her father's Colt Dragoon. It was an 1847 model. It was an enormous pistol, weighs about 4.5 pounds. It was designed to carry in a holster on the saddle, not in a holster on your belt. So it's curious that this is her only weapon that she has to carry. She inherited it. The occasion she has to use it, she gets one shot off, and the second shot is a misfire, and that was a fairly common thing with that kind of pistol. It was designed originally to shoot caps and balls. It was a cap and ball pistol, a percussion pistol. So you had to load the powder, then the ball, and then you had to cap the other end of the cylinder. So any number of things could happen. She's in the river to start with, so water and black powder normally soaks up moisture very quickly and makes it inert.
There.
Matt plays LaBeef, the Texas Ranger. In the book, he carries, his pistols have what she describes as white handles, which is an ivory or a pearl. So we went with a carved ivory handle on grips on his pistol. What he carries is a Sharps carbine, which Sharps was a brand, a manufacturer of a very long-range, capable rifle at the time. The Sharps rifle itself, 1874, was famous for buffalo hunting, for shooting buffalo at long ranges, and the carbine is a shorter cavalry horseback version.
You tell me another lie and I'll stove your head in.
Ned Pepper carries a Remington 1875 pistol, which was another favorite. Frank James carried one, I believe. The actor Barry Pepper wanted black handles on the pistol. I thought of maybe if we inlaid that ebony handle with something like bone, that would break it up a little bit, put a little dimension to it. And so we went with a 4-leaf clover for Lucky Ned Pepper. I don't know how I really did this work before eBay and the internet. It's a funny thing. Things have changed in the material culture, and I try not to substitute things of the modern time in the place of the look of that time.